Good evening, I'm Kyle Summers and welcome to the 6th episode of In Deep Conversation. Tonight we're going to be chatting to our resident guest, the right awkward William Pilkington Smythe.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Make yourself comfortable.
Evening, Summers.
And tonight we would like to ask you about your thoughts and comments on the UK foreign aid budget.
Yes. I'd like to tell the UK public about the UK foreign aid budget, which comes to around £13 billion every single year. I'm pretty sure that the majority of the British public do not know where this money is being spent. Now, £98 million of that budget is sent to India. And you'll be quite astonished to find out that India spends the majority of these funds on a damn lunar probe. Now, I'm pretty shocked and appalled at that this money, the hard-earned UK taxpayers' buck, is being sponsored on an Indian space program. It's an absolute travesty, and this is going to be stopped. Now, while this money is being squandered on sending bloody machinery to the moon and etc., a large percentage of the Indian population is living in bloody poverty, in bloody mud huts and holes in the ground covered by tarpaulin. It's an atrocious situation. Now, the Office for Budget Charity forecasts that this £13 billion a year budget could probably rise to £14.5 billion every single year by 2021. Now, all this financial aid we give to these countries is going to be stopped, lock, stock, and damn barrel. Now, one of the major problems with this UK financial aid as a major oversight is that the UK has absolutely no say in how this money is spent, or what it is spent on, and what pocket it ends up in. Now, another complete and utter joke is Microsoft founder Bill Gates has recently urged the UK to maintain its promise to spend 0.7% of national income on overseas aid. Now, let me tell you, what right has a private entrepreneur to get involved in a government decision? It's just a downright bloody liberty. Let me tell you something, Gates. If you're interested and worried about countries getting money, then why don't you stick your hand in your extremely deep pocket and give them some of your hard-earned money and see how you like it when they send a bloody probe up into space, which you've paid for. It's simply unfair, and it's going to stop. So, mind your own bloody business and get on with building sodding computers. That's what I have to say about that. Now, all this posturing and expressing an opinion on how the taxpayers' money should be spent, it's nothing to do with you. Mind your own bloody business and sod off. Now, the top 10 countries receiving UK aid in 2015 were Pakistan, Ethiopia, Afghanistan, Nigeria, Syria, Sierra Leone, South Sudan, Tanzania, India, and Bangladesh. Now, the BBC reality check quote, was to, they say, to ensure value for money for the taxpayer. Development programs are subject to rigorous checks and analysis. According to the DFID, the Department for International Development, and projects can be tracked online if you want. Whether you believe them or not, it is probably a load of old tosh. Yet other sources quote the UK has no say or knowledge of where the money ends up. In any case, it's a downright disgrace and outrage, and it's going to stop. We are going to put our united iron boot down with force and stop all this squandering of our damn money. Now, the UKIP leader Paul Nuttall has called the size of the budget, and I quote, absolute outrage, saying the money should be diverted to the NHS. Now, we as the Renaissance Party are in total agreement with Nuttall. UK foreign aid will cease when we come to power. And an endless list exists of UK public services that are struggling to cope that could benefit immensely from this huge fund of taxpayers' money. I'm sure the UK citizen would be far more comfortable on it being spent on some of our struggling services, NHS, schooling, doctors, dentists, all the things that you have to wait weeks for to get an appointment. All these things are struggling on their knees, begging for sodding mercy because they've been shaved to the bone over the years by different governments, and all this has to stop. The country is gasping for breath. So all this foreign aid cobblers is going to be stopped, and that money is going to go into UK services. That's all there is to it, and that is what we, the Renaissance Party, are going to implement.
Well, that's wonderful news to hear, Lord Smythe. That is all we have time for this evening, so join us next time on In Deep Conversation.